We're learning U.S.-led forces have started live fire exercises at military bases, but this in Iraq and Syria after more than a dozen attacks on American troops over the last week, leaving more than 20 American soldiers injured.
Here with us now, Carl Higbie served as a U.S. Navy SEAL, host of Frontline right here on Newsmax. Carl, U.S. troops in the Middle East have now been attacked a number of times, both in Iraq and Syria since October 17th through the 24th. I think we got a map sort of laying out where these attacks have taken place. What's going on here?
Well, some of these bases I've actually been to in Iraq, and the thing that I always say is, like, our troops come first over any other country. If our troops are sent overseas, if they're sent abroad to do the mission that we task them with, we need to have their back. And if we have a dozen of them being injured for this, we need to find the installations that those rockets were launched from, that those drones and those attacks were launched from, and wipe them off the face of the earth. Period, full stop. We need to send the message that you can have these proxy wars in Ukraine or Israel, everything like that. But the most important thing that our enemy needs to know that you do not attack American troops. And if you do, you'll lose everything.
Two dozen drone attacks have been carried out there in Syria and Iraq on those bases that you were pointing out there on the map. Then you mentioned messaging. The president spoke out yesterday when he had that opportunity with the Prime Minister of Australia. He had a message for Iran, in Iran militias that are attacking American troops. And he says this, a warning to the Ayatollah. A strong stance here. He says, if you continue to attack American troops, we will respond, and he should be prepared, referring to the Ayatollah. Is that a strong enough response? What should the response be? What is appropriate right now?
Leveling something. The problem is, look, Joe Biden was the vice president when Barack Obama drew the red line in the sand in Syria. They did absolutely nothing. The problem is we can have 11 carrier battle groups with nuclear submarines and all the fighter jets in the world, but if we're not willing to use them, or at least if the enemy doesn't believe we're willing to use them, they're useless. So, I think that a strong response militarily needs to be had. Look, when Donald Trump took out Soleimani, it sent a resounding message in the region, like, hey guys, better be careful what you do. When in Afghanistan they were messing with us, Donald Trump took the top off of a mountain with the most powerful non-nuclear explosive in the U.S. arsenal. This is something where we need to locate where those attacks are coming from, what Iranian sources have been aided in these things. Because look, Iran's already at war with us. We're just not at war with them yet. Find out where it's coming from, destroy the installation, send the message. I don't even think you should bother with the PR anymore.
That ground invasion into Gaza, we haven't seen it happen to the extent that Israeli troops claim they're ready for. How much of that has to do, if any, of guidance from the United States?
Well, look, this is Israel's war. I don't think we should. Look, we can offer advice, we can offer tactical information, whatever we did, but definitely we should be sharing some intelligence with them. However, we should not be telling them when or when not to go. Hamas is in a unique scenario right now where Israel's cut off basically all of their resources. So the longer this goes on, the worse it is for Hamas, because a lot of the people in Palestine are not going to be able to eat, drink water, things like that. They also cut out their own water pipes to make rockets out of them. But we should allow Israel to take the lead for this. And I don't think Joe Biden, who's been wrong on every foreign policy ever for the last 50 years, should offer any advice on how to fight this war.
Yeah, assistance there in Gaza. We're reporting on again. When they move in, it was reported that the tanks moved in, then they backed back out, according to IDF. So as far as a ground incursion, not sure on the timing of that. Carl Higbie joining us live. We appreciate that. Carl Higbie, you can always check him out. Frontline with Carl Higbie, weekdays, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, right there on your screen. Carl, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thanks, guys.
We appreciate it.